Loading into El Dorado. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have our Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is SHIN. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It's Gamba time, papi. Let's go. If you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you believe will claim the series. Will it go the way of Gerald? Will it go the way of SHIN? Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. As this is the final series of the group. After this series, we'll be going over the group itself. We'll be going over the standings, the players advancing on, and what it means for the playoffs. We'll get there. We will get there. We at least have, of course, Clem confirmed as number 1. And we'll get into the rest of the standings afterwards. But now we're going to be settling into our openers. Hatchgas pool out of SHIN. And welcome one and all to El Dorado. Again, one of the other more vetoed maps in the map pool. Likewise, more unorthodox as well. You can approach this map in a very different way depending on how you expand. You can expand towards your opponent, mine through these minerals, and gain access to the gold bases, whether it's the gold on your side of the map or the center gold base as well. There's a lot of potential here for a boosted economy. Likewise, you can expand away from your opponents, away instead, and kind of go for a longer game state. Likewise, because the rush distance by air is so short, we have seen a lot of Zerg players have success with Swarm Host play. Swarm Host in ZvP can be viable here, sending Locust Waves into the natural, sending Locust Waves into the main base as well. Dark is very fond of it. SHIN, he's played around with it a little bit, but not as much as Dark is what I will say. Just bringing it up here as it is going to be an option for SHIN. Another thing that is also viable here, because that rush distance by air, is Muta play. Going into Spire, going to Mutas can also be quite effective here on this map. So there are opportunities for some more unorthodox styles. As SHIN, he is going to be expanding towards Gerald. Does mine through the minerals, does go for the triangular third. Meanwhile, Gerald's going for the Stargate opener. Stargate back at home, into Oracle, most likely. Void Ray openers are also very viable. They're designed to hunt down Overlords, to deny vision, deny scouting, to keep the Zerg player in the dark. So we'll see what Gerald does go for. We already had some aggressive builds previously here by Creator earlier in the broadcast, with Glaive Adepts and more Glaive Adepts and all the Glaives. Gerald, he isn't typically that kind of player though. He is a little bit more mid-game oriented. Don't see him going Glaives too often. Regardless, here we go. To open up. Sound done. Oracle is our first unit of choice. And Gerald's also expanding towards SHIN. Bold move. Okay, so a couple of things here. If we end up in this situation where both players expand towards each other, the rush distance by ground is incredibly short. I mean, we basically have a screen dividing both players here, dividing base to base. So all-ins can hit real hard, real fast, real quick. All-ins can be favored here regarding to 2-base all-ins, 3-base all-ins. Aggression is favored. And, yeah, we'll see how Geralt is going to handle this situation. Oh boy. Of course, that's applicable to both players, true. Both Geralt and SHIN. As Geralt, he's going for the Twilight Council before the third. Okay. I mentioned before that Geralt is not really one to go into Glaives, but Glaives is an option now for Geralt. As that tech is very fast. He has two options. He can either go into Glaives or he can go into faster Blink. Blink would be the more, in a sense, safer option. Keep an eye on our Protoss player. Likewise, Sage Trap being thrown down, securing his third base. SHIN, likewise, still just droning up. And what do you have for us? There it is. It's going to be Blink. Now, with early Blink here, I say safer because we mentioned in the past, in the previous series, how if you rush into Blink this early on, it is done in time for an all-in. In the sense that if SHIN were to go for an all-in, it's done in time to defend against it, to actually impact the fight and impact the defenses of the Protoss player. Likewise, it also does give Geralt a lot of early game map control, early game advantage. It does allow him to push forward, deny creep, deny overlords to push in towards the bases, and to try to maintain control of the map itself. But on such a small map, it's a bold move. That's what I will say. Bold move by Gerald. SHIN, he scouts, he confirms everything. He sees the Twilight Council, sees Lack of Forge. Oh my god. Jesus. D.Va, calm down. As Oracle does head into the main. Keeping tabs here on SHIN, taking a lot of hold damage. Oh my god! Does take a lot of hits, does take a lot of damage. And that's a massive gateway explosion. How many gates? 7! Soon to be 10. Sorry, soon to be 9. 9 gates set up here from Gerald. It's a 3-base all-in. 3-base, oh my god, 10! There it is! 10 gate 3-base all-in out of Gerald. Mass Stalker, and nothing but Stalker. No Forge, no upgrades, no finesse here. Stasis goes off, nice connection. And we spoke earlier, when you expand towards each other like this, all-ins are favored, and that applies to the Zerg and the Protoss. So 3-base all-in here from Gerald. He's about to send it. He's waiting for the gateways to finish up. SHIN back at home. No Roach Warren. He's skipping Roaches. He's going Ling Hydra. Oh, this is risky. This is very risky here for SHIN. Up against an all-in without Roaches. And with delayed Hydra production with purely Ling Queen, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy defense here for SHIN. Not impossible, but not easy either. Taking the goal base, double expanding. Massing up more Lings. And here comes Geralt. And here's a proxy, I believe, 11th gate? Yep. That's the 11th gateway, by the way. Ay, ay, ay. I didn't even think we need a proxy considering how close the 3rd base is. But regardless, Lings they attempt to run by, Stalkers they're moving in, and SHIN is in trouble. He is in trouble here, he's up against the wall. Lings are trying to force the defensive warp in. And there it is. Stalkers are warping in, Lings are coming for the surround. But Blink is done. Blink is done. The Oracles, they do need support though. Stalkers are going down. Not bad. Decent pickoffs there from SHIN. But the Queens are exposed. And the Queens are so low, they almost go down. Not quite. Geralt did miss an opportunity there. Did miss one, moving forward. The Queens, they still maintain themselves. A lot more DPS as a result. Lings, they come in for the surround. And Stalkers, oh, Stasis does go up. Stalkers, they maintain themselves for a little bit longer. Only one Oracle, though. Queen's getting caught off a creep. Can he dive in? Not quite. Queens, once again, they escape, and the Queen count's still maintained. SHIN, he's holding. He's holding, he's surviving, going for a big Link counterattack, trying to force a recall. And probes are going down. Gerald, he has to make a choice. Does warp in, 11 probes do fall. And he turns around. Gerald, he turns back around. SHIN buying so much time here. Hydras are amassing as we speak. And there's the recall. Yeah, massive win for SHIN. Forcing the recall back home. Getting 11 probe kills. Lings into the main. And as all this is happening, he has a full 3rd base saturated. The Queens, they're gathering energy for, of course, transfuse. Hydras are building up. SHIN heals up against the wall, but he's making it. He's making a game out of this. He's holding on. The longer this goes on, the better it is for SHIN. Bear that in mind. As he's got so many upgrades on the way. And the gold base is getting saturated as well. So far, this is not good enough damage from Gerald. He needs more. He needs more damage. Charge about to finish up. Lings, they try to engage. Lings are being shut down. Another stasis set up. Gets baited. Stasis is baited. Charge is now done. Gerald needs to push forward. We have some wasted DPS on the expansion, on the hatchery. Zealots they charge in. Queens are finally going down. And the Hydras as well. But we need more Zealots. We need more Zealot reinforcements. Stalkers are being forced back. Better concave here with the Hydras. Where's the warp in? Where's the warp in, Pappy? Oh. It's more Zealots trickling in, but it looks like SHIN is holding. Yeah, he's holding on. He has plenty of Hydras. Takes down the Zealots, and without the Zealots, there's just not much here. Stalkers are exposed. They're expensive. Another Ling run by, once again crippling the economy, forcing defensive warp-ins. And these Ling run bys, they are winning SHIN this game. They've won them this game, 100%. Gets us over the gateway. Star steps forward. Stalker's going down. Overall, I love the build choice here by Gerald and the execution, but the execution was just a little bit lacking. Did feel like Gerald was a little bit too tentative when it came to the execution. He was being very careful about moving forward, about diving on the queens early on. And SHIN just bought so much time. He bought so much time. And he's done it. Again, barely an economy. Takes down the stalkers. And SHIN, he breaks the third. He's broken the third base. GG gets called, and SHIN, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. A very intense game 1 as well. Again, overall, Gerald, everything was looking solid up until the first attack. Up until the first, I should say the first attack, the second attack really, when the queens were getting low, but when Gerald didn't press the issue, when he didn't dive on those queens, without them, then the position is weaker, then it's much more difficult for SHIN to make the decision to go for a run by. You know, without those queens, then suddenly he has to keep the links back at home. With them, he can go for a big counter attack. He can go for these run bys instead. He can afford to do so, just pulling Gerald back home, buying more time until he messed up those hydras. GG. GG, well played. Whew. Again, grace under pressure there for SHIN, as it does take the first game, and that leads us here into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. Game number 2 here. It's going to be on Ultra Love. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Streamer Zone down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Gerald. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is SHIN. One game away from making it, or from taking down Gerald. One more game to take the series. Let's go. Also, thanks to those in the chat keeping track of the scores on the Wikipedia. Apparently, Gerald, he could not afford to lose a map in this series to make it out of the group. So, yeah, there was a little more weight on Gerald's shoulders on that previous map, on El Dorado. And again, it came so close. It came so close. The build, the setup, all was looking good. Casito, papi, casito. Almost. But now we're settling into Game 2. Game 2, welcome one and all to Ultra Love. Ultra Love is a more defendable map here. What I mean by that is we have a ramp. We have a ramp coming into the natural. We have a choke point coming into the third. We have a destructible tower as well to just knock it down to buy more time. And also a choke point here at the fourth base as well. So typically a little more defendable here. And we'll see how Geralt will approach this. On the flip side, the rush distance by ground is quite short. You know, we saw that from the side of Clem, for example, in Clem versus SHIN, how it takes so little time to reinforce and to get across the map on Ultra Love. So if Geralt wanted to be aggressive, then this map could help him there, could assist him. But after game 1, after the failed 3-base all-in, the failed 11 gate, I feel like we're probably going to be deviating away from that. I feel like we've gotten that out of our system. Most likely something more standard this time. We'll see. We shall see. As SHIN is going hatch gas pool. Settling in back at home. Taking his opponent. And we'll see what other builds Geralt has up his sleeve. Zerg lives. Not good enough. How dare we have one Zerg in the playoffs? Crazy, Bobby, crazy. True. Too much. Oh, no. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Then we have our Stargate opener. Stargate's halfway done. Back into Oracle once again. We'll see if he does go for the Void Ray instead. Now dancing with the army. And is going to be that Oracle initially here for Geralt. Interesting that he's actually rallied back home. I'm curious if Geralt is going to try to hide the Oracles and preserve them and build them up before moving out. We'll keep an eye on whether or not he moves out with the first Oracle. Third base on the way. And this time the third base is on time and on location. As a reminder, last game, Gerald he went for a Twilight Council before the third expansion. Well, that's still an early Twilight Council though. Never mind. Twilight Council has been placed, and once again we pose the question. Do we go for Glaives? Do we go for early Blink? These are the two options. As it is a very fast Twilight Council. Not as fast as last game, of course, but fast nonetheless. Again, there is no Forge, there is no upgrade, no +1. It's going to be delayed instead in favor of early aggression. What's it going to be? Meanwhile, Oracle moves out. Gets a couple of tumors. He didn't preserve it. Moves out, denies an Overlord. Not bad. Rotating into the main. Gateways are being thrown down, and it is in fact going to be Blink. So early Blink once again here for Gerald. This build looks similar to last game, but so far, as I mentioned before, this should be, I mean, I say should be, it is an aggressive start, but doesn't have to lead into a 3-base all-in. As long as they hit the third. Gerald so far is keeping up, he does defend. Does have his 4-gate setup. If he goes for a gateway explosion behind this, then sure, 3-base all in, but until then, he's setting up. He's setting up, he's looking to gain map control, looking to try to pin SHIN back home and keep him contained. That Blink is now halfway done. SHIN, likewise, just like the previous game, that's going to be an Evo Chamber into +1 melee, into lair, into... Oh, sorry, there was a safety Roach Warren this time. Okay. Safety Roach Warren out of SHIN. Does want to get caught with his pants down. Not again. Sword ups do fall. Lings, they shut down the Adept Aggression. And so far is keeping up. Do you see what I see? I see more gates. Oh god. He's doing it again. No gases. No gases at the third base. He throws down 4 gates in addition to the 4 gates he already has. 8-gate setup, most likely a proxy 4th gate as well. We're getting ready here for another 3-base all-in. I say that is taking an extra gas geyser to afford extra Stalker Warp Ins. Regardless, we're looking for that proxy pylon. There it is. There's a proxy. There's the probe. Proxy pylon, proxy gateway, 3-base all-in. Let's go. Now the execution here is a little bit different compared to game 1, but the end goal is the same. But what I will say, this time there are roaches. This time we don't see SHIN struggling to defend with purely Ling Queen. This time he has Ling Roach to defend. It's much more stable, much more solid. This time SHIN is playing safe. This time he is safe. Lings, they do get across the map. Yaldi's setting up for the push. And he is expanding behind this, actually. He is very committed, but it looks like he is pulling back. He's not feeling as confident that he can break through. I mean, he's still going for the proxy. Like, it's still 9 gates. The expansion's throwing me off a little bit, not gonna lie. He's all in, but he doesn't want to be all in. Interesting. He's some in, back. He's some in. Which makes me concerned. Bearing in mind there's no Forge, there's no upgrades, there's no further tech, it's purely Stalker Zealot. Like, this army does not scale well into a longer game. And yeah, you can see here, he's trying to transition out of this. He does not have faith. He saw the roaches and he doesn't believe he can break through. We have the Forge for +1, 4th base for saturation. His heart isn't in this. Does catch us on the roaches though. Not bad. Blinks forward. A couple of roaches do go down, getting to +1 range. More leagues coming to reinforce. And he needs to break through. He needs to get damage done here. Gerald, I mean. Otherwise, it's not going to be worth it. Sapphire is bleeding out more stalkers. Forced to recall. Ling run. No, the roaches, they bust into the natural. Probes are going down. Roaches into the main as well. And the aggression has failed. A nice stasis trap. Very nice stasis. Despite that, workers are being targeted. Roach is being forced back home. And SHIN, he holds. He does hold, and he will soon break this position. And once he does, the 4th base is going to be in danger. Oh boy. He's going to be in danger here. We can see we can see Gerald trying to reinforce, moving out across the map. Trying to get here in time. Shin dives on top of the army. And once again, brutal losses for these Stalkers. Files, oh, they do connect. And Gerald, he's crumbling here. They got so many Stalkers, Zell reinforces as well. And these are losses that Gerald can't afford. Remember, he was some in. like basically all in. And so now being forced further back. And again, behind this, there's no Immortal production, there's no Archons, no Storm, no Colossus, no nothing, just pure Gateway Man. Pure Swarm Toss. Zell's get overwhelmed. Gerald, he's being ambitious here. I mean, he has to be. Getting adventurous. Going further into creep. Sniping a queen. Up. Going for the tower. Let's go. Oh my god. Knocks down the tower. Does cut off the army. Doesn't quite connect the way we were hoping. But nice moves out of Gerald. But last, as you can see here, is falling in supply. The proxy has been dealt with. Does plummet in supply. His army does not scale well here into the mid game. Does have some decent saturation here, but it's the army that I'm concerned by. It's 0-0 Stalkers. And Shin is now finishing up +2. Now finishing up +2. Yo, base trade? do we just commit? We could. Let our enemy know our fury. Base is gonna go down, and Shin, yeah, he commits. At this point, he sends it. Dives into the natural. Do we have a recall? Recall is available. Oh my god. Files to connect. And God, he's racing back home. He's racing back. Lings, they hit the fourth. Probes are going down left and right. The wall has been broken. And Shinny busts into the main. Oh. Rotates back over. Does spot the army. He wants it. He wants the Stalkers. And he's going to get them as well. Collapses the main army. Depowering the gateways. And there's just an overwhelming Road Ravager army here for Shin. The fourth base is falling. And this was a really interesting execution here of an A gate from Gerald. I'll say that. I will say that at least. On the tower. Let's go. Oh my god. Doesn't get the roaches. Doesn't quite get them. Shout out to Gerald. GG gets called, and Shin, he will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Shin, he will claim the series, will take down Gerald. Once again, very aggressive builds out of Gerald, both in Game 1 and in Game 2. Game 1, it was an 11-gate 3-base all-in. Here in Game 2, it was meant to be a 9-gate 3-base all-in, but we saw an interesting deviation. Gerald, he took the expansion. He did take an extra gas geyser as well. He did throw down, he did start throwing down a forge. Like, again, it was just a really interesting build out of Gerald. It was like he opened up all in, but he tried to transition out of it, but it's difficult to get out of an all in when you commit like that. So yeah, just a really rough position there for Gerald. It was damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you remember, Gerald, he made that decision when he saw the roaches. When he saw the roaches, he was like, oh, you're not being as greedy this time. This isn't going to be as effective. And it did feel like Gerald, his confidence did falter like in his build, and he tried to get out of it. In the end, he was overwhelmed. GG. GG, well played. With that, Shin does claim the series 2-0, and I believe that will wrap up Group A. That will wrap up Group A. And we have some updates here. Let's go. Let's catch up on the group stage. Let's catch up on the WardiTV February. Let's go. Now we had Shin taking down Creator, we had Shin taking down Bjorn, Clem took down Shin, and Shin took down Geralt. I believe with this scoreline, Shin has done well enough to make it into those playoffs. Let's refresh that Wikipedia page, and let's catch up on the standings. There we go. Bam. Beautiful. Bam, here we go. Okay, we have our group stage. We have our group stage finalized. Clem, he comes out in first place with an unbroken, unbeaten score of 4-0. Very strong results here out of Clem. Followed by Shin. Shin comes out in second place, and Bjorn in third. My condolences to both Creator and Geralt as they do not make it through the group stage. They do get knocked out. My condolences. Again, was a rough group to begin with. And again, shout out to Wardi, of course, for covering the beginning of Group A, and of course the remainder of the group stage. Wardi, he did cover Group B. Group B, we had Cure, Hero, and Showtime making it through. Solar was knocked out. Likewise, so was Harstem. So very strong showing here from our Protoss and Terran representatives. Group C, can I scroll out a little bit? There we go. Group C, we had Spirit, Skillus, and Gumiho. Viewers were referencing this earlier as well. Jumi, he barely didn't make it through. You can see here, Jumi and Gumiho were tied, and if you watch those matches, Jumi actually had a really close series against Gumiho as well. Jumi, he has been popping off. He's been looking very good as of late. So GG, well played. Jumi barely doesn't advance on, but I know that Jumi, he's very satisfied with his performance, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing more of him in the future. And then it was Spirit, Skillus, and Gumiho making it through. GG, well played. We do see that Jumi and Rogue did not quite advance. And scrolling down, we have Group D. We have Zaun, Classic, and Bunny making it out of the group stage. We did have predictions for this, what was it, a couple of days ago during the podcast, and I believe this was what we went for. I remember, I think both Yako and I, we both had faith in Bunny, and I think we both were in line going Bunny, Zaun, and Classic. Like, we're big fans of Ryung, but this was a rough group for him. Like, Ryung, he's a TVT specialist, but not a lot of Terrans here, and congratulations to Zaun, Classic, and Bunny. And oh my god, that does lead us here into the brackets. We have our round of 12. We have Hero, Byeon, SHIN, Showtime, Skillus, Bunny, Classic, and Gumiho all facing off in the round of 12. Oh my god. Okay. We have some spicy matchups here. Again, Hero versus Byeon is going to be a great one, I'm sure. I'm uncertain if these are... I imagine they're going to be best of 3s initially, potentially best of 5s. Do check them out, though. Likewise, we have a 1 Zerg player. Let's go. We have a lone Zerg here in SHIN going up against Showtime in the round of 12. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. The 1 Zerg against the wall of Terran and Protoss. Best of luck. Best of luck. Hope we're able to get SHIN represent Zerg at least a little bit further in the bracket. At least a little bit. Skills versus Bunny going to be a lot of fun. We're big Bunny fans here. Big CJ Entis fans, I should say. So Bunny always near and dear to our hearts. Best of luck against Nikita. That's gonna be a rough one. I want them both to do well. I want both Nikita and Bunny to excel. Regardless, when it goes up against Clem, it's going to be rough for anyone to make it through. And we have Classic and Gumiho facing off in a TVP when it goes up against Cure. That's going to be a fun one. Gumiho, he's one of the few Terrans out there. It's like Gumiho and Ryung. They're the 2 Terrans that are willing to play mech against Protoss. And I'm expecting it at least once in that series. I look forward to it. Best of luck to everyone involved. And of course, based on the seeding, we have Zaun, Spirit, Clem, and Cure already waiting in the quarterfinals. And again, this is going to be in how many, or in a day, in 24 hours. In 24 hours time, 24 hours from this message, check out Wardi's channel. He's going to be all over the broadcast, going to be all over the playoffs. I believe this will be taking place over the course of the weekend. So multi-day event, plenty of matches, plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. Do check it out over on Wardi's channel. It's going to be amazing, going to be beautiful. And with that, GG. With that, GG, well played. With that, we are going to be wrapping up for the time being. Again, this is our second cast of the day, and we are going to be live in not long, actually, with our next broadcast. For those that are curious, for those that are maybe tuning in for the first time, welcome to the CranKy Ducklings. We are live on a daily basis here, multiple times every single day. As you can see here, our weekly schedule. We are currently on Friday. We just wrapped up with the WardiTV February 2025 Group A, and up next in 15 minutes, so I have a little bit of time to set everything up, to set up the overlays. We're going to be live with the OSC King of the Hill. OSC King of the Hill here at 10 p.m. KST. I believe it begins at 9 p.m. KST, actually. So, in 15 minutes, we're going to be live with OC King of the Hill. Tomorrow, we're going to be live with Amantes de StarCraft. That is a Brazilian-only tournament at 9 a.m. We have SDO at 6 p.m. We have OC Season 12 Championship on Sunday, and we have Sparkling Tuna Cup on Sunday as well. Typically, here on the CranKy Ducklings, we have half a day off. That is Wednesdays. There's a reason why, if I wanted to, I could actually slot in another cast on Wednesday evening, but you know, our new initiative here is I would like to have at least a bit of time to ourselves to do something outside of just casting StarCraft. So we do have half a day off on Wednesdays, but outside of that, non-stop StarCraft. Oh boy, non-stop StarCraft here on the channel. So yeah, do check out, of course, Wardi's channel tomorrow for the playoffs. Meanwhile, we're going to be going on a break, and when we come back, we'll have the King of the Hill. We'll have that OC King of the Hill ready for you here and now. Dude just needs some time to set up the overlays and to get things ready. Let's go. Let us go. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Again, you can support us via following us on all the social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. It was recently announced, of course, that Twitch, they are removing their VOD system, basically, and we no longer will be hosting our VODs on Twitch, but YouTube is the place to be. So if you see something here that you want to watch live, and you cannot because of the time zone or the time slot, then check out our VODs over on YouTube, as they are uploaded on a daily basis. Plenty of VODs, plenty of content on YouTube. That is the place to be. Otherwise, thanks for watching. You can also support us on Patreon, exclamation mark Patreon in the chat. Speaking of Patreon, I believe Wardi's event, I believe this February event, is actually funded via his Patreon, so do check out his Patreon for more Wardi tournaments. Likewise, you can check out ours for more of our events as well. Our Patreon does fund our weekly tournaments like our monthly tournaments like SDO and MSO, and our weekly tournaments like Sparkling Tunic Cup as well. So plenty of ways to support content creators out there, or StarCraft tournaments out there, and the StarCraft scene. Likewise, of course, I have to mention KSL for also having their own Patreon as well for the Korean StarCraft League. Otherwise, with that, we're going to be going on a break. We're going to be going on around a 15-minute or so break. When we come back, we'll have our next cast. We'll have some more StarCraft action. See you soon. See you soon. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time. We have half a day off, luxury life. Well, this is only for 2025. Last year, I didn't have any. I didn't even get half a day off. 2024, 2023, 2022, it was 2 casts a day every single day, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. But we have decided that it would be nice if we had some free time. So this is new for this year. For 2025, we get half a day. Let's go. It's over. How dare we? How dare we? That's our initiative for this year. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes here with some more StarCraft action. See you soon. See you soon.